Well, hello, this is a really quick, simple, grain-free granola. You know what? I eat a lot of different ways. I love all types of things, but sometimes I like to be grain-free. And that means even oat-free. So what I have here are all the components for a grain-free granola. This is something I make almost on a weekly basis, because to me it's a great snack. You can put it on top of yogurt, you can eat it as is. You can have a lot of different things with it. It gives you that crunch, slight sweetness without too much sweetness. And it's still somewhat healthy. It has a lot of good fats in it. So I have here everything I want. I have flaky, unsweetened coconut. You don't want anything sweetened, and I like the big chunks of it. I have some flax meal. Flax meal has a lot of omegas in it. It has a lot of wonderful fiber. Then I have my favorite different components in here. I have pumpkin seeds, which have the potassium and the phosphorus, the magnesium. I have cashews, which have that wonderful sweetness. I have walnuts, and I have pecans for healthy fats and great texture. So together, this is gonna make a great grain-free granola. You know, we all have different things. I'm not on a diet trend ever, but I do like to eat certain ways and try to not have grains or limit them at certain times, and this is a great way to do it. So to start, I have a big food processor, and I'm gonna put all the coconut right in there. While I like big pieces and I like to start with those, I kind of like to get a good texture and just kind of some different flakiness going on. So I put the coconut right in there, and then I put all of my nuts right in there. I'm gonna put them right in, look at that, and just break them down slightly. So we're gonna pulse until we get some kind of good texture going on. Nothing perfect, but you'll see what I mean. And you know what? It helps if you have it plugged in all the way, and if you check to make sure everything's going. You can see there's not like a perfect answer here. It's just kind of to get some good texture, and that's exactly what I want. There's no science here. It's granola. Why I love granola is you can use it for so many different things and keep it on hand and just enjoy it. And everyone loves granola. To this, I'm gonna add some chia seeds. Now, chia seeds offer great fats again, great omegas. And what I like here is they add a little bit of texture. So to me, this is all about the different textures. You hardly even think about the chias being in there, but they do add just enough texture that I just love having them in there. So we're gonna add in the chia, and then we're gonna add some flax meal. Now this is flax meal, and the reason I'm using it, it kind of acts as a wheat germ would in traditional granolas. It adds a little bit more fiber again, like I said, but it also adds some great texture, and when we add the liquid, it thickens it slightly so you can get some different clusters. It's all about the clusters. So right here I have some warm water. Water is an odd ingredient, I'm gonna admit, but I use it in all my granolas, whether I'm doing grain-free or not, because water is a great distributor. So as we're putting the honey in there, it's gonna help us use, one, less honey overall, because instead what it's gonna do is work with the honey, and it's gonna help coat everything. So this is only sweetened with the honey, and I'm gonna add a nice amount, but what it's gonna do is, honey has to me a great way of adding a little bit of flavor, a little bit of sweetness, but not like an annoyingly amount of sweetness, you know what I mean? Because to me with granola, you want it to be sweet so you notice it's there, but not so sweet that it just feels like too much. So I'm stirring that with the water, which helps the honey to dissolve. And then look, as we pour it over all this, look how it just kind of falls in, and it's gonna help distribute that so much easier. To that, I'm also gonna add cinnamon. I think any good granola needs a good dose of cinnamon. And I'm gonna do some vanilla powder. I happen to have powder, and sometimes I like it because it gets a little bit more stronger vanilla. You can also use vanilla extract. Don't feel like you can't. I think you totally can. So now we're gonna stir this, and you can see there's no perfection here. We are just stirring it, and what's gonna happen is some of that flax meal is gonna soak into some of the moisture with the water and the honey. It's gonna get a little clumpy, but what we're also doing is making sure it's evenly mixed. So we get the honey over everything. Look at that. Instantly I smell the vanilla. I smell the cinnamon, but look at all that beauty you're getting there. You're getting as the coconut kind of works down into smaller pieces, it acts almost as oats would. You're not left wanting anything with this granola. It has everything you want. So I'm gonna put it onto a parchment lined baking sheet. That is just beautiful, and make sure it's all dumped out. And what I like to do now is make sure you scrape, because you have all that goodness. There's some chia seeds left in here. There's some of the honey mixture, some of the flavoring, which you don't want to miss out on. And now I'm going to put a little bit of salt on. Do you guys watch me ever? If you do, this isn't the first time that I almost forget salt. Put your salt on, because what we need to do is make sure that we have something to counterbalance all the sweet. Guys, you keep me real, you keep me in check. That's what you do. So I'm gonna just evenly put this out. And you can see here, we get just a nice texture going on. Look at how you see the chia in there. You see the pieces of nuts and the coconut. This is what I love. So I'm gonna just keep knocking it out. Look at that. Now we're gonna put this into our preheated oven, and we're not doing an extremely high oven. What I wanna do is, the nuts are not toasted. We want to evenly be toasting them and roasting them while we're actually getting some of that excess water off, and it's gonna completely evenly toast and roast. So I'm gonna stir it every 10-15 minutes until it's well toasted. Take it out, let it cool, and it's gonna smell and taste amazing. I'm pulling this out, so I've stirred it quite a few times, and you can see I let it get really toasted on top. And then this is the final time. I'm not gonna put it back in the oven. The thing is, when you take it out, you at first think, well, it's soft. That's not what I want. As it cools, it gets crispy. But look how we have toasted this extremely well. It's golden brown. All those pieces actually have more flavor now because they're fully toasted. It just, it smells so good. What I do like to do sometimes, it's just me, it's just a me thing, is put a little bit more cinnamon on top. As it hits the warm granola, it really opens up and just smells amazing. It adds to me like the final kick of flavor, and I just really like to drive home the cinnamon. So I'm gonna let this fully cool and then show you how crispy, crunchy, delicious it is. And we'll talk about storing too, because that's important. I just wanna pick at it. It has cooled, and do you know how I know? Do you hear that? It's all crunchy, crispy, and delicious. That's the best part. So now we are just ready to store it. And what I like about the flax and it getting a little bit thick as it gets to the moisture, and then look at this, you get pieces, you get kind of craggy pieces, and that's what I love. That's the best part of this, because you can just pick one up. It's so good. What I love about it is, it's high fat, but it's healthy fats. You get lots of omegas. You get all the different nuts, the seeds, the chia, the flax, all that works together. But you also get that hint of cinnamon and that hint of sweetness without it being like a dessert sweetness. It's just enough so it will complement any yogurt you would have. It would complement any ice cream you would have. I have used this on top of, try it on top of like apples on fruit. Even if you want to kind of bake it and make a modified version of like an apple crisp, this is your thing. Gluten-free, delicious if you're going for that. If not, just go with the delicious because it really is good. So for storage, I like to store it in something airtight. So like these have a nice little seal at the top, and you can see mine's getting low. I always keep it on hand, and then I just pop it right into the container. And then now I will have it for, you know, hopefully, I would like to say weeks to come, but let's be honest, it's probably gonna be a week. This will keep for a week at like room temperature in an airtight container. Otherwise, I would put it into a fridge or freezer, and then it will keep long term, because then it's gonna lock out any air and keep it much more sealed. And because what's the issue would be moisture getting into it. So during humid weather, it wouldn't stay as crisp, and then you'd want to put it into the fridge or freezer quicker. But at this point, you can just enjoy. Oh no, I'm going to. I know it's so hard when it's in front of you, you just want to keep popping it in. So what do I hope you do with this? I hope you try something new if you haven't tried it, because it's delicious. It's a new way to try something. It's a new way to enjoy something. Share this around, because yes, when you share these videos, it helps me so much, but it helps everyone else see this is doable. If this guy can do it, anybody can do it. Check my website, wiseguy.com, for this full recipe and all my other recipes. They're all on there. Until next time, enjoy some good food, share it around, and be healthy. That's the best part.